So it's a great question. I think ultimately we're fundamentally looking for science that can deliver transformational changes for patients, really big differences in difficult to treat diseases.
Hi, my name is Mike Ward. I'm the head of content at Script and the Pink Sheet. We're here in Berlin at the BioEurope meeting. This is one of the meetings where biotechs, pharma, they meet other companies in similar spaces, but they also come up with meet investors. Biotechs clearly are excited about meeting investors, particularly those who are the holders of what's called patient capital. These are investors who don't need to turn around their investments so quickly. One of those patient capital vehicles is Syncona. It's a vehicle that was created out of the Wellcome Trust in 2012. It started off with a capitalization of about $200 million and grew that quite quickly. And then in 2016, they merged with Beckett, which was an oncology-focused fund of funds, and it's now Syncona now has around $1 billion under management. I'm joined by Iraj Ali, who's the managing partner with Syncona. So thanks for joining us, Iraj. The Syncona is a sort of, one, it's a patient capital vehicle, but also it's it runs an investment portfolio, but actually it's also an investment company. So how does that model work?
So we think that is a really efficient way to make long-term investments in the life sciences space, because by having the bulk of our capital productively employed in the fund of funds business, we're under no pressure to make investments, and we have the confidence to know the capital is there when we need it. So we can make very careful, measured, and very deep investments when we're ready to do so.
Right. Okay. So one of the things that's always been sort of characterized by people who invest in the sector is there are certain sort of almost like fashion waves that they sort of jump on. What is Syncona? What's the kind of science that you're looking to back at the moment?
So it's a great question. I think ultimately we're fundamentally looking for science that can deliver transformational changes for patients, really big differences in difficult to treat diseases. We've observed in our sector probably 3 waves of technological jumps, one in small molecules that the industry was largely built on in the 50s and 60s, and that has moved to large molecules and the antibodies and the proteins. And today, as Syncona, what we see that gets us very excited are new advanced therapies like cell and gene therapies. We've made a number of investments in that space because they're able to address very difficult to treat severe diseases and deliver massive changes for patients. That's where we think you can really build companies of real scale and real ambition.
Right. So we'll come back to the kind of investments that you're making, but sort of generally, what is sort of the current climate for biotech and pharma investing at the moment?
I think what we've seen, we primarily play in Europe, and that's the landscape we are close to and been close to since formation. I think that the landscape in Europe has improved dramatically, actually, from when we started in 2012. There is more patient capital. When we were out, Syncona was probably one of very few venture investors able to offer that kind of support. Now I see several in the marketplace. There is, I think, more belief and ambition around European science. And that's good because I think it brings to fruition something that many of us have known for a long time, that the quality of European science is as good as anywhere in the world. But it needs the capital and the right ecosystem to mature that into companies that can deliver products for patients.
So I'm just trying to get a sort of sense of actually how patient you really are with your capital. So what sort of involvement do you take in an investment? I mean, are you sort of an active board participant?
So to answer the first question, we take a view that we don't have an exit hypothesis. So our patience has no end to that length of string, if you like. So we want to be with companies until they get products and stay with them as long as it's appropriate and as long as we're a meaningful and value-adding investor. The role that we play is very active, as you mentioned. So in sort of 5 of the companies that we've set up, we put in the starting CEO. In all the companies that we form, we take a board seat. Sometimes we may take 2 board seats in a brand new startup to bring real horsepower from the team and their experience. I think the team in Syncona bring a very deep knowledge of investing, company building, and product commercialization. And I think you need to bring all 3 of those things together to very exciting technology to build companies.
So you sort of said that you're interested in investing in transformational science, transformational medicine. If I was an entrepreneur or a biotech CEO, what kind of package of data would I actually have to be able to present to you for you to even bother to even have a conversation with me in the first place, let alone actually invest?
We're almost always ready to have a conversation, but to pass the kind of bar for investment, I think you need to be looking at something that you feel is a fundamental piece of biology. So this isn't something that was discovered for the first time last year and there's no corollary to it. So it's got to be real biology. After that, the amount of data you bring to form a company has actually changed in almost all cases. It's on a case-by-case basis. So in Blue Earth, there was a substantial body of data that GE had generated when we spun the company out, to which we rapidly got an FDA approval because of the quality of that package. In Achilles Therapeutics, when we first sat around the table with Charlie Swanton and Carl Peggs and Sergio Quesada, it was an idea. There was no data. There was just a very powerful concept of cancer neoantigens and what potential that could have. So in some ways, the 2 things have to balance. The quality of the biology has to balance against the maturity of the data. There is no, unfortunately, templated answer. We will do very early deals with no preclinical data, and we will do late-stage deals where there's a significant body of data. If they meet our criteria of something that can ultimately be transformational, somewhere where we can own a meaningful share of the company, and with a group of people that want to work closely with us, because we have a very active model of supporting companies.
And do you, for example, if you get in that very, very early, is the sort of the anticipation that you will take that company as far as it can go?
That's exactly right. When we make an investment, our belief is that we are going to get a reimbursed and distributed product that's going to get to patients. And that's what makes it a very high bar. So there are certain spaces where we probably can't play in, let's say Alzheimer's or primary care. So even if there's great data and great biology, we're not the right capital provider or really expertise provider to help that project. But where you're in, and this is where the advanced therapies are so good, into a narrow, well-defined patient group where you can show a large demonstration of clinical efficacy, again, that makes the trial smaller, it makes the commercial model more focused, and it makes it somewhere you believe you can build a company.
Okay. Also, you guys have got a very, very close link through the Pioneer Fund with Cancer Research UK, CRUK. How important is that for you?
I mean, CRUK are a fundamental partner in the ecosystem of the life sciences in Europe, and I would argue globally. They're a fantastic partner. The Wellcome is a fantastic partner. It's very important for us to be associated with the highest quality of science and the highest quality of partners. The CRUK and the Wellcome Trust are major shareholders in Syncona, and I think that is strong backing from, we feel, some of the best partners you can get in this business.
Right. Okay. So, well, thanks very much for stepping by. That's pretty good.
Pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Thank you. Cheers.